A strong architecture is a signal of recovery. So it's our responsibility to design dignified and design well. Because we're not just building a building, we're giving people the okay that it's time to recover.
So you help people psychologically as well,
Yeah.
emotionally,
Yeah,
by building
our
homes.
architects are anthropologists, psychiatrists, philosophers, architects all rolled into one. Like they're a strange breed. They're not your typical architect. They don't dress fancy. They don't go to the right cocktail parties. But they're really fun. And they really care about the work they do. And they are very committed and dedicated to their clients. And at the end of it, they, you can work for 2 years in a village, rebuilding the village. And at the end of it, you get one hug from the community leader. And that hug will last a lifetime for you. It transforms the way you are as an architect. You suddenly realize what your role on this earth has been. That you have a particular skill set, that you can actually build something. And that this community, all they needed was someone to say, okay, let me show you the way. And it's incredibly rewarding. And for me, as the person who runs this organization, I get to see that every day. Every morning, my emails, 50% of my emails are very depressing because things are happening around the world and people need help. But the other 50% of the emails are like finished buildings, schools opening in Peru, houses being finished in Haiti. I'm very lucky that I get to be a part of this.
Who are all of these architects who work with you?
Well, this is what's interesting. So when you think of an architect, they're usually an older version of me, right? They're like male, pale, and stale, right? They're not very entertaining. They're usually a little overweight, and they like talking about themselves. That's what you imagine an architect. Our architects are quite unique. They're international, they've traveled, they're predominantly female, and they're usually between 26 to 35.
Very young.
So they're young, ambitious, they care about the world, they speak multiple languages, they're extremely smart, college educated, they could have any job in the world, and they decide to come work for me. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm just so lucky.
So this is volunteer work?
No.
They get paid?
They get paid.
Lower pay than in some
much
design house?
Much lower pay. But here's two things that are very unique about our organization. The community builds our buildings. We train them to build the buildings, and we pay them to build the buildings. Because they're poor. They don't have money. And to expect them to do it for free is almost offensive. So we fund the community to build the building. I also fund the architect. I give them a small amount of money. But I do that for a very good reason. It's because if they get paid, they're on contract. And if they don't do what is needed by the community, I fire them.
Okay, can you please give me a concrete example?
A good example.
Okay.
Architect is sent out to work with a community to build a school in Sierra Leone.
Okay.
They go out there, the community has been waiting, could be 40 years to get a school. They finally get somebody who's listened to them, finally got the funding together, and they're finally about to start building. And the architect just doesn't listen to them, starts designing whatever they want. And the community is getting very upset because they feel like they're not being listened to. Part of the role is to not only figure out the need of the community, but what their desires are, what their dreams are, because this is something that's going to transform that village for generations. So for an architect, it's a year off, but for this community, it means so much more.
It's their life.
It's their life. And if you're not listening to them, I fire you and I replace you, because this is a serious project and we're going to treat it like a professional project. And I think charity often gets seen as secondary to professionalism, and that people think, well, just because they're poor, they get second-rate work. But if you put someone on contract, they're responsible to the client. So we are a charity, we run like a charity, but we act like a business and we treat people like professionals. So, yes, we don't pay them very much, but we pay them enough that they know this is a professional job.
Where did you get your funding from?
Everywhere. I am like I said, I was a street kid in South London. I didn't get to where I am by not hustling. In Haiti, they call me the hustler because I will find a way to fund a project. If I fall in love with I'm a big romantic. I fall in love with all my communities, all the people. I just fall in love with them. And when I make a commitment to them and I say, we're going to build, a building for you, I'm not going to stop until we fund it. And I will do anything to find the funding to make it happen. We're very lucky we use a lot of social media. So through Facebook and Twitter and other social networks, we raise almost 50% of our funds for Japan and Haiti.
From donations?
From donations.
Oh, okay.
We have companies who donate to us for specific projects. We've done crazy fundraisers. We have a line of underwear that raises money for us. We have posters from famous designers where we sell the posters. We have T-shirts. We have, you name it.
Everything.
Everything.
To get funding.
Everything to get funding. But, the thing is that a lot of our funding is not just basic. Like, you wouldn't just donate like 100 baht to me, right? Say you would. Say you donate to me 100
Yeah, I'll
baht.
donate to you. I like
you're
your
gonna
cause.
You like my cause, you're going to donate 100 baht. We've developed a system, because we share all of our work online, we've developed a system that updates photos and stories from each project right from the ground to you. And it's a conversational giving. Now, you and I have started a relationship based on this project. And I'm gonna say, hey, guess what? That 100 baht, we broke ground. And come look at the pictures. And you see the pictures, and you see the people, you see them working. You're like, I want to give you another 100 baht. People get excited. They become part of the story. So I think we've entered a new stage in the way we think about donating as more conversational.
Any projects in Thailand?
Not yet. We've talked a lot about the flooding because we do a lot of long-term reconstruction. We've worked regionally. We've worked in Cambodia and we've worked in Myanmar. But we only work when we're invited. So if someone invites us to come and work with them, we provide the architects and engineers, and they live in the villages and towns, and they help develop the design from the grassroots. They work with the community. And so if we're invited to come, then we may come. I mean, if you care about the flooding right here, don't think about just giving water and food. Think about the next 5 years it's going to take people to recover. Who's going to be standing with those people in 5 years' time? It's not going to be companies. It's not going to be the government. It's going to be for the people who said, you know what, I'm going to figure out a way to get involved and I'm going to stay involved. And that's what we do. We stay involved. We stay for 5 years. Mm-hmm. So a concrete example, I know you like concrete examples. In East Biloxi, Mississippi, we made a stand. We said, we are going to help this community. There's great partners. We had a fantastic anonymous donor who said that they were going to support us.
Right.
And in the end, through this collaboration of NGOs and other architects, we ended up rebuilding 93% of the city, over 700 homes.
Wow. Because
we stayed. It wasn't because we had sexy architecture. It wasn't because we, had a system that would make a container that would create a house. It's because we stayed. And quite often, all a community needs is a group of professionals that are willing to stay. So, if I was a Thai architect, pick a village. Pick a village that's been devastated. Maybe it's one that your family's from. And then spend 1 day a week there for the next 4 years. And you'll see the amount of transformation that will happen just by you showing up. You don't need money. Talented architect. You should be able to give your creativity. So, for me, it's like, maybe the best scenario is that Thailand doesn't need architecture for humanity. That the Thai architects step up and they say, we can do this ourselves.